Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to talk about Rainbow Six Siege evolving into an esport. Now, of course, everybody's been speculating that this will become an esports game because it's basically set up for that, and Ubisoft has been kind of tight-lipped about evolving it into an esport until it's ready, but it's actually been officially taken into the ESL League, and there's going to be a tournament starting in March with a $100,000 prize pool, $50,000 for Xbox One and $50,000 for PC. So this is very interesting that they're starting to do it this early. I think it's both good and bad. As you can imagine, there's been a lot of discussion about this in the forums, because if the game goes to a massive tournament that everybody's watching with big prize pools, and all of a sudden all these weird bugs and exploits are being used and the game crashes and people crash out of it, it's going to be an embarrassing situation for Ubisoft, and I'm sure they know this. Obviously they're considering this, but as a community player, somebody who likes the game and wants it to succeed, obviously I am also concerned for it. And of course you might be thinking, well, sure, the game's not great right now, but by the time the tournament starts, they're going to have the game in a much more stable state. I hope. The tournament's starting March 4th, so there's actually very little time between now and when the competitive league begins. In fact, you can actually already set up and start doing skirmishes and stuff like that. You can register on ESL, so you can literally start learning the format of the tournament and how it's going to go down. And although the game launched very buggy, Ubisoft has been very good about quickly patching the game, getting the patches out there to PC as soon as possible, and not like trying to release the PC patches at the same time as Xbox. They're just trying to shove them out the door as quickly as possible and get the game up and running and stable for everyone. So that's been good, but I don't know if they have enough time to get this game to a tournament ready state by March 4th. I mean, there's still tons of people that drop out of the game constantly. There's still priority 1 bugs in the game. I played a game with Tommy and Bong the other day where it was hostage rescue. We got the hostage outside of Chalet, and basically the game just didn't end. It was bugged out. Tommy's screen was all messed up, and we ended up losing the game. If that ever happened in a tournament, it would just be a huge upset. You'd have one team that technically won that round, but it wouldn't have according to the game rules. So if those kind of bugs are still in the game and they affect a tournament situation, that is just going to be bad news. I mean, I'm very much interested in watching a tournament, but in the same way that I think someone who would want to casually watch maybe NASCAR, you sort of want to watch it for the race, but you're also secretly hoping that there's a cool crash. And don't get me wrong, I certainly don't want this game to fail in esports. In fact, I'm probably more excited to watch tournament games of Rainbow Six Siege than I am any other game right now. I can relate to this game the most. I think the strategy is top-notch and interesting, and it'll be great to see some of the best players in the world competing against each other. But again, looking on the realistic side of things, this is such a new game that there's still many exploits that the developers probably still don't even know about. And frankly, a lot of competitive teams will keep these exploits secret. Competitive players play the game the most, more than anybody else, and they look for these exploits methodically, and they will probably figure out certain things that can break the game or cheese the game in ways, and they will not tell anybody else about this. And this is historically something that happens a lot in tournaments for new games or games that have been recently patched. Competitive teams will use whatever tools they can to get the edge, and so they'll keep exploits secret until tournament day, and all of a sudden something new will be in the game, some weird element that was not designed into the game that other players have to react to or maybe get cheesed on, and all of a sudden the rules have to be changed last minute, or like somebody loses a match for the wrong reasons. So I wouldn't be surprised if those kind of things cropped up quite a bit. Some of the more common exploits that I'm actually used to seeing are things like being able to turn off Kapkan's laser on his trip mine so you won't actually see them somehow. I'm not really sure how this is done. There's ways of placing down shield barriers and making it so that people can't jump over them. Again, I'm not sure how they do this. There's tons of ways to get drones outside of the map so you can give valuable intel on player positioning, and nobody can do anything to stop your drone because it's like under the map or outside in a way where it just sees through all the walls. Those are the ones that we know about. I shudder to think about what the exploits are that we don't know about yet and that people are keeping to themselves so that they can take advantage of them in a tournament environment. Now, one thing that this game does have going for it is LAN support, local area network. This is so you can bring people into a tournament environment, play in the same room, and have virtually no latency or very, very minimal latency. However, the netcode in this game is still so bad, especially with the damage model. It allows for a lot of exploits and and really weird stuff going on, and a lot of the qualifying for these tournaments is going to be done in online gaming, where it might be teams playing from one nation against another nation, from one continent to another continent, where pings could be very bad between both situations, and it could just result in a very unenjoyable gaming experience for the competitors and something that's hard to watch for spectators. I imagine we'll probably see most of the drama and problems crop up in the qualifying rounds, which is unfortunate, but it's probably just the reality of a new esports game coming to the market. Now, the good side of all of this, aside from like exploits, potential cheating and stuff like that, is that it's really going to light a fire under Ubisoft's butt. Now, I'm not saying that they're not working hard right now to get the game up to spec and working, but they don't want to be a laughing stock on ESL, especially if this stuff is being streamed to hundreds of thousands of people. They don't want the game to crash. They want it to be a fun, entertaining tournament with no surprising upsets when it comes to exploits and that kind of thing. Now, a good point that's been brought up on the forums is the fact that a lot of the popular esports games right now were pushed into the esports arena kind of before they were ready, or when they still had a lot of bugs and balance issues, and they made it, and the esports arena kind of forced the hand of the developers to really take action and fix things and change balance and all that sort of stuff once they see professional players exploiting certain things. So this won't be like the first game ever pushed into esports before it's technically ready. And with that being said, I think it certainly stands a good chance of becoming a successful esports game. Despite all the problems and technical issues that it has right now, it's still something that I would absolutely love to watch. Even if there aren't any sort of like crazy moments of exploits and stuff like that, I would love to watch a fair game of two really good teams combating it out for a fairly large prize pool. One very interesting element of it, though, is the fact that they're doing two tournaments, one for Xbox and one for PC. I'm not sure if this is because they're testing the waters, they want to give equal opportunity to both console and PC. I personally would be much more interested in watching a PC tournament because it's the platform I play on, but also you'll see a much more accurate aiming in that, I believe. I mean, I don't want to undersell console gaming skill, but it's just the dynamic of the actual controls you have at hand. So I feel like from a spectator's point of view, you'd probably want to watch people who have the ability to be more accurate and precise than you could be on console. So it'll be interesting that they're conducting both tournaments, and maybe it's just because they have no idea which one is going to be more popular and which one is going to succeed. It will be interesting down the line, though, to see if one of the tournaments does much better than the other, if they'll just cancel the other platform and focus exclusively on the competitive gaming for one platform. Anyway, I'm quite excited that Rainbow Six Siege is being pushed into the esports arena. Perhaps it's a little too soon. March 4th seems a little too soon in my opinion. Then again, I'm not a developer. I don't know what they're working on or what they have planned, but I am a pretty avid player, so I know what the state of the game is right now, and it does make me worry a little bit. What do you guys think? Do you think Rainbow Six Siege has a future in esports? Do you think it could be ruined by one buggy tournament? I would love to know in the comments. As always, guys, I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.